Have you ever wondered why seemingly simple messages about the environment get garbled and misunderstood or totally ignored? Have you ever felt like there's some sort of filter between you and people you're trying to communicate with that only lets certain words and ideas through? And why do well thought out scientific solutions to environmental problems often fail when people get involved? Good environmental policy and communication go hand in hand. They ask not just what message we're putting out there, but what message is being received. And the two are not always the same. Environmental policy makers have to deal with a range of sometimes competing values and beliefs that are not always based on rational thinking. And they also have to deal with power struggles and sometimes misinformation that's put out there to slow decision making rather than speeding it up. Hi, I'm Steve Cork and I'll be convening environmental policy and communication. We'll start this course by talking about how people think, because understanding human irrationality will pretty much underpin everything else we do in the course. We'll ask questions like, is the human brain better suited for the Stone Age than for the modern world? Does framing the environment in economic terms help or hinder conservation efforts? How do the images used to represent the environment influence people's attitudes towards environmental policy? What is greenwashing? And how has social media and other new media helped or hindered our ability to communicate complex environmental and social issues? I started my professional career as an environmental scientist, interested in gathering information about how the environment works. As my career progressed, I realised it was at least as important to understand how people interpret that information, sometimes in irrational ways. And that's led me to do research and to read in areas like psychology and behavioural economics and even futures thinking. And we'll draw on all of these disciplines in this course. We'll look at examples of how environmental policy makers and communicators have tackled difficult issues like climate change, or getting the environment considered in mainstream decision making, or communicating in disasters like the Canberra bushfires or the tsunami in Aceh. Along the way, we'll have guest speakers who've worked in environmental policy and communication in the media, in government and in academia and industry. And we'll consider how we can tell whether our environmental policy making and communication have been successful. At the end of the course, you'll have a pretty good idea of a range of methods you can use in that overlap between environmental policy and communication, and you'll have a set of resources that you can draw on in your later careers. You'll also have been able to apply what you've learned in some case studies that you'll write about and discuss in class, and you will have been able to try out your ideas on some professional environmental policy makers and communicators who'll be guest speakers. So I'm really looking forward to meeting you and working with you and together exploring some of the frontiers of environmental policy and communication.